Hi everyone. No, I haven't gone live yet. It's just starting. It's going round in circles. I'm not sure what Wi-Fi I'm on today again. Hi everyone. That's all right. I'm on the right Wi-Fi as well. Oh, hey. Exchange. Am I live?
Can't see it yet, but there is a delay, isn't there?
Yeah, there's always a delay. Well, if you can hear me, see me, I'm a few minutes early because I was getting a bit too excited. Just want to say I hope you're having a lovely day. Yes, I am an hour early, so I've probably thrown half of you out. Canada is already ahead. Oh, I've got one person, it's probably Paul. So at least someone can see me and hear me. So I can drive him mad for a few minutes. So I'll wait for a few of you to come on. So hopefully you can join me. And hopefully I haven't got the timings wrong. I might even have Canada's timings wrong for all I know. And I know Pip's not been too good, so he's got a funny voice at the moment. And I think I'm talking to myself, Paul said. So I'll wait for a few of you to come on. Maybe you haven't seen my message. Oh, got someone coming on. There's people. So it'd be lovely to see a few more of you. And then we will get started. But I am a few minutes early, and I have changed the time today to 3 o'clock. So it's always very confusing. I've got a meeting at 4 o'clock, so it's a little bit difficult for me to have done it at 4 o'clock. So I decided to put it an hour early, and so I think I've thrown a few of you out. So I'm going to wait a few more minutes, so please bear with me. What I'm going to do is I'm going to just say thank you to everybody who has purchased the new ShokART collections. I know they've gone down a storm in Canada. They have gone down a storm in the UK and even abroad. So we're getting a few more people here. Oh, thank you, Gail. Hello to you. It's 8 o'clock there in Canada, so that's not too bad. That's breakfast time, so you can go and get your cup of coffee, cup of tea, latte, whatever you fancy in the mornings. So it's really nice to have you here. A few of you are joining now. Yes, I did it at 3 o'clock. One, to keep the time same in Canada, but secondly, I unfortunately have a meeting. One of my other roles is a school governor, and I have a meeting to talk about some of that. So that's why I've done it an hour early. Also, I probably will stick to the hour early because then we will catch up when our clocks go forward at the end of March. So 3 o'clock actually probably is a better time for us. I'm just waiting for a few more of you to join, but I think I'm going to get started. We will record this on YouTube, so you will be able to watch it back. Good morning, Pip. I hope you're feeling better today. So I've set it an hour early just to throw you all, but it's probably the same time for you as usual, but I'm not 100% sure. And I know Gail says it's 8 o'clock. So what I'm going to be doing today is I'm going to be playing with the ShokART collection. And I know a lot of you have already purchased this. I know a lot of you are probably been looking at it, but I just want to share with you some of the papers, some of the rice papers, but I'm not going to go through the whole collection. The collection is huge. I know you've seen lots of it already, and I just want to go through it so that I can show you what I'm going to be playing with today. Okay, so I'm going to start off with the big A3 format. Now this is huge. Firstly, we've got a rice paper which actually matches this, plus 3 other rice papers, which I know have been extremely popular. So I was really taken back, Pip and I, that you guys liked it so much. So that's one of the rice papers, but just wanted to show you that the quality and everything is absolutely beautiful. They work really well, and I'll be showing you some examples using these rice papers as well. So very quickly, I'm just going to go through anybody who hasn't seen the pad or seen the pad. It is huge. So you've sort of got what I call a 12 by 12 at the top, and then you've still got all this space underneath. Depending on the pages, you've got, obviously you've got circles, you've got side panels, sorry I keep moving it, and you've got the bits at the bottom as well. So you can see there is just so much. Now Jill's very kindly done us lots of samples for the Create and Craft show. So I just want to show you how nice it can look very quickly. Let me see if I can grab that one. So by just taking one of these toppers, you can make something so beautiful. So this is taking, as you can see, this one here. And look how beautiful that already looks. So I have to say a big thank you to Jill for doing this for me. She's done a lot of samples. They went down really well at Create and Craft. They're so inspirational, so many different effects. So I just wanted to share how easy it is because of the way the book has been designed. All the books from ShokART have been designed so you can do them for card making, mixed media, and lots of different things. Just move my comments up to see if I've got any more coming through. I always get lost on my comments because it seems to move that page over, not this page over. So I don't know if I'm going to be able to see them now. Okay, well, I'm not going to fiddle with that for now. Paul is on the other end, so he might be able to answer your comments. So very quickly, you've got some pages which are totally A3. So if you're looking at big projects, some pages which are blank, so you can use as backgrounds. You've also got pages which have got little toppers on the bottom. When I say they're little, they're nearly A6. Got this beautiful girl, which also matches the stamps. You've got this, which is this way, and a lot of people say to me, oh, it's the wrong way around. Well, it's because I've designed it, so if you wanted to put it on the front of a notebook, you could. And the same goes for this side. Sorry, oops, I've got it the wrong way around, but it doesn't matter. Again, you've got lots of big elements. You've got smaller elements in the smaller pages. You've got the beautiful big element here, which is the focal point. You've got all these lovely toppers. I really recommend that if you have never had this type of pad, I really recommend it. I love these jigsaw pieces. This is my little baby sister's idea. So it is really a ShokART family affair, really. You've got these lovely circles, which I'm going to be using today to make my project. Okay, so I just wanted to share. I'm not going to go through all of them. I'm not going to bore you here with all the different pages, but that's just a taster. Now, before I show you all the samples, I want to share with you what the stencils look like. Obviously, they don't look quite like that. They look like this. But just to show you and make it easier for you, I've put them onto blackboards for you. So this is the Butterfly Distress Stencil. So this is something we've used a lot in our projects. You will have seen me use this one as well. On the designs. This is also from the Create Art ink, which I'll be using today. Absolutely beautiful. They're A5. So those are the 3 stencils in this collection. Now, what else have I got for you? I've got the, I keep doing it upside down, don't I? Turn it around again, girl. So I've got the Crackle Rose stamp, absolutely beautiful. They're A6, really nice. I know Pip said this has actually been the most popular in Canada, so that's amazing. This is one that Jill worked with last week, and I have to say a big thank you to Jill for doing a beautiful Facebook Live, and I know you all enjoyed it. So Jill, we're wishing you a speedy recovery. She's actually fractured her wrist, and I know she was due for surgery, so I hope everything is going well. So this is one of We've also got Create Art ink, which is the main focal mixed media stamp. Oh, sorry, Gail, I didn't realise my voice was cutting in and out. I'm not sure why. We're not having a problem in the UK. So Paul's listening to me now. I can hear myself. So I apologise for that. I'm not sure. I think I'm on the right microphone. And this is the art journal stamp, which I absolutely love, and I use this a lot. And then this one I designed because I really wanted this element. So there's a lot of food for thought, as one would say.
You are on the right network, yeah?
Yep, I am. So there's a lot there. Just put those over there, and you can have a look at those on the website, both on Pip's site and on my site. So, the video's cutting out as well, Pip says. Yeah. So, not sure why. The only thing is, it's not just you.
Close another tab if you can. If you've got something you can close.
Okay. I don't think that's going to make any
I don't think
real
it'll make a difference. The thing is, it's fine in this room.
Okay. Well, I'm going to persevere. Okay, thanks, Pip. So I'm just going to try and persevere through it. I apologise ahead. Now, one of the things I wanted to share with you, I know these were shown if anybody got to watch Create and Craft, but these were some of the samples that were made by Jill, and I just want to show you how beautiful it is. This is actually done the stencil here. I don't know if you can see it, but there it is in gold. I'll hold it slowly because then it doesn't make you all dizzy. Oh, sorry, Gloria, I'm always here on Daily Art Market. So you've got these beautiful pockets that she's created. These really do work so well, and you can see how lovely they look. So there we go. And I just love the sort of the layers, the mixed media feel about it. There's a distortion about them. They've been designed so they do, you know, they are mixed media and will be used for those. Cookie Monster arm with sprinkles. What's that all about? Don't know. I think she's relating to my colourful little jumper. So you've got all these lovely pages. Look at this one. I love this one because you've got all that across there because of the large pages. And then you've got this bit here which says ink. It's probably one of my favourite pages. While saying that, I like this one too. So there's some really, really nice ones there. You've got little pockets. Jill's used the stamps, the stencils to decorate them. So absolutely beautiful. So if you're just looking at making a simple A5 landscape album, then this is a really good pad for that as well. Right, let's see what else we've got. So we've got a really big one here. So using one of the bigger A3 sheets, using lots of Crackle paste, using the rice papers, using Crackle paste, stencils, you name it. I think it's on this one. So it's absolutely beautiful. And I know Pip's going to be doing a live workshop with Mummy and Me, it's called. Okay, now something a bit smaller and taking one of the focal squares there. Again, absolutely beautiful to work with. Got a few of you joining. Ah, yes. It is good for bigger canvases, Pip, definitely for sure. And also if you're covering boxes, it's absolutely brilliant. If you're doing A4 big pieces, then it's again very good. All these samples I'm showing you are actually by Jill today. So I just want to share them because she put a lot of work into them. Absolutely beautiful. And this is just one of the pads we launched. Obviously, there are lots of different pads. In a couple of weeks, I'll be doing another Facebook Live on crafting with all brands, and I'll be showing you how to do this. So anybody who liked this is one of the rice papers from the collection. So we'll be sharing that with you as well. Right, what have I been doing today? Well, making a mess as usual. I thought, why not use the papers? Oh, that's great, Pip. Thank you. No more issues now, she says. Why not use the papers and the stamp? Can you see that? So that is the paper. This is my stamps, or Pip and I's stamps, and the... Oh, thank you, Gloria. The background has got the stamps, the stencil. I'm going to show you how to do something similar to this today. So I just made this morning. But you know what the beauty is? Is that if you didn't know any better, you'd actually think this came out of the book. But that is actually me stamping it and colouring it with the colours I've used in the background. And the same with these 3 bottles. So you can just see what a beautiful card you can make just purely by using the stamps and making your backgrounds with the stamps, and also using just one focal bit of the paper, just one small piece. So basically you've got loads and loads in that pad, but all I've done is I've taken one circle out and used that, and I'm going to use another one for my actual demo today. Okay, so let's get started. So all I've done, just so that you know, is I've used a circle die to cut these out, and once I've cut it out, it comes out as a circle. Now the circle I cut, and I'm going to quickly show you because I've got it all ready here to help us with time, is this one. So sorry, I've actually taken, so that would have been sort of like a circle there. So all I've done is I've cut this bottle out of it, and you'll understand why in a minute. Okay, so they're double-sided, so you could have used either side of them, but I'm just using this side. But I will be showing you what I'm doing. Now that was like, so for example, we've got this one here, and obviously that is the same size. Yep. I've used 3 circles, just matte and layering dies, okay, to do that. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there so I can remember what I'm doing. Okay, so just to say where I started, so you need to get 3 circles, different sizes, and then you can matte and layer like that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how I've made this background. It's going to be different colours. I don't know how it's going to come out, because obviously each time you do these things, they're never the same. But I want to show you how I've got to this piece. And I absolutely adore it. I have to be honest, if it was on the front of a notebook or a journal, or if you were using it for just as a card, it is absolutely beautiful. So you can see, it'd make a really nice album cover as well. Okay, so let's get started. The first thing I'm going to do, this is where I'm going to start, is I'm just going to take a piece of paper. It's as simple as that. I'm just going to take a scrap of paper. Get ourselves. Is that going to be too reflective? Yeah, it's going to be far too reflective. So I will leave it like it is and make a mess. So what I'm going to do first is I've chosen a couple of colours, and I've chosen to do a different set of colours. I'm using the mint matte, the white coffee matte, these are all Pentart, and I'm using the earthy brown matte. Those are my 3 basic colours I'm going to go with. Absolutely beautiful colours. All 3 work so well. And anybody who bought the box Shades of Colour from Creative Craft will actually have these in their tin. So how do we go about creating this background? Because it just looks amazing to me. Okay, first thing you need to do, I've got a mat which is really, really dirty, so ignore it. But I'm going to show you what you need to do. I'm just going to turn my mat over. Because if anybody wants to know what colours I've used here, I've used these 2 colours. But these also you can get in the Pentart colours, but I just picked these 2 out, and the earthy brown. So it was like an olivey green and a beige colour, which is not very dissimilar to the actual white coffee actually. So just a slightly different colour. So first thing you need to do is actually do some layers on this. So I'm going to take a little bit of the blue paint. I'm going to start off with the blue. Okay, just going to put a little bit on my mat directly from the pot. So let me just move these over here. I'm going to get a baby wipe so I can keep my palette knife clean. Sorry, I have to go over you sometimes. That's very true, Pip. It does. It works for both really, really well. So all I'm doing now is I'm just going to take a little brayer. I've got baby brayer here. If you don't have a brayer, get some cling film and make a background, or bubble wrap. So you don't always have to have. I know a lot of people say to me, oh, well, I don't have a brayer, or I don't have this. So don't worry about that. So all I'm doing is I've just got a piece of card. I've just roughly cut it. It's a little bit bigger than an A5. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to go up and across. It just doesn't matter what direction. We just want to cover the background. Okay. So all I'm doing is just covering. Leave some white space. We don't want to cover it all. And that's it. That's one layer done. So it's about layering. Mixed media has always been about layering. So if you're layering, then that's good. That's a start. I want to get this bit out, but I know I won't be able to just yet. So, right, so that's your first bit. Now your next bit, I'm going to take some of that white coffee. Just going to put a little bit. I'm going to put it straight on top of the bit I've got already. So you can see I'm using the same bit of the mat. Don't worry too much about that. I don't. And I'm not even going to clean my brayer. Bit of a rebel. So again, just take that down. Now make sure you haven't got too much paint on your brayer. So that means that keep moving it. And the reason I say that is because if you have too much, you'll just get blocks of colour. So take it lightly if you're worried first. And there you are. So you've got another layer going on there. Now, keep going with that. Okay. Now these are quite muted colours. Now I am going to still put some white gesso onto this, but you don't need to because they are so muted. So you can see it's a lot lighter than this one at the moment. Okay. So we're just going to keep building and building until we're happy with that. Okay. So we've got to that stage. So we're quite happy. I'm just going to quickly dry that. It's dry nearly anyway. Yes, the collection's been extremely successful, and I must admit the A3 format pad is I think we will sell out of it shortly, and some of the rice papers. We've also got the 8x8 pads, which you can obviously do these techniques with as well. Right, so I've got to this bit. So the next bit I want to do is start to put some white, little bit of white gesso or primer. This is the Pentart primer. I really think it's something that you need in your stash. And all you're going to do is, it just gives you a different texture because it's thicker than the paint itself. Okay. Now if you wanted to add a little bit of brown to the background, you could, to make it a bit warmer. And I might do that. I might add a little bit of brown with that in a minute. So I'm just going to take a little bit of white, not too much. As you can see, you probably can't even see it when I'm adding it. Okay. So I don't want it to be too dark, but I do want the backgrounds to be covered. So I'm going to put a little bit of brown, just a tiny weeny bit. Now the best way to do this is to just put it down on your mat. We're going to be using that in a minute anyway. Is then to actually just take a little bit on your brayer. You don't want it to be too dark and too thick, so just be careful when you're doing this. So rub this a lot, or just use little bits of it. So all we're going to do is come in, okay? Doesn't matter which direction you go in, all we're doing here is doing some layers, okay? Not too much, not too less, just some layers. Okay, so you've made a good start on this background already. Okay, there we go. So, long way to go yet, as they say, but we are getting there. So the next thing we need to do is, I'm going to use the stencil to create a little bit more of the background. Okay, so now you can choose what colour you want the stencil to be. Now I'm going to go with a little bit more of the brown. Now the best way to do this is to actually, hi Els, it's nice to see you, or not see you, but have you here. I hope everything's lovely Colorado. I think there's a lot of snow there, isn't there? So we've got this stencil. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the stencil and actually cover it. So when I'm going to do it, I'm actually going to do the reverse of it, so that when I put it down, you'll get this really lovely cover. So basically we're trying to create this background that we have here to give you a really nice grungy look. Okay, so the best way to do that is, for me, is I'm going to spray it with water. Okay, just a little bit of water, so that when I do add the paint, now you can do this two ways. You can either add it with a brush, or you can use your brayer over the top. So I'm taking a little bit more of that brown paint, okay, and I'm going to just take that away. So, and we're just going to take that and we're just going to go over the top. So you don't want it too watery, but you don't want it dry. So hopefully you can see what I'm doing here. I'm just lifting some of that colour, and this is going to create another layer. Don't leave it too long because it will dry. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to take that, I made a right mess today, and I'm just going to place it on top. Okay, that's it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a sheet of paper and just dry that in. And what that will do is it'll give you some texture, another layer of texture. Okay, and that's all we're trying to do here, is create layers. It's all about mixed media, it's just about creating layers. Okay, obviously have some water ready for your stencil. So what that will do is, it's very subtle, but you will see, you will pick up parts of the design, and that's exactly what I wanted. Now if you feel any reason it's too subtle, you can always go in. So for example, I can take a little bit more here while it's still very, very wet. What I don't want is I don't want it to be too much, and then what you can do is just press that in, and then you can see you're still getting an impression. Let me just show you there. I don't know if you can see that, but you will get these lovely, lovely backgrounds. I've got myself all mucky today, very, very mucky in fact. Let me leave that there. So that's where we've got to with that bit. Now the next bit is we're going to use a lot of the background stamps to create the background. Now the first one I'm going to use, just put some lids on, give that a quick blast. I have to say these are some of Pip's favourites, I have to say, so I can't, these are from the new collections which I just showed you, so quickly grab those. So the stencil I've just used was this one, so it's a really nice one, the new one from Crate Ink Art collection. I'm going to be using the Crackle Rose, so the Crackle out the Crackle Rose. I'm also going to be using the journal art stamp, which is this one with the spiral. So you'll see me using all of these, so anybody who's missed this, and I'm going to be using a lot of the Inspire notes. So I'm actually going to use most of the stamps that we've actually got in the collection in one way or another. Okay, so let me get started. The first thing I'm going to do is quickly grab myself an acrylic block. I had a small one. Here we go. Actually, I'll take this middle one. So all I'm going to do is just take, this is this spiral, and I really love this, and I love working with this. Now you've got choices. You can either go for more of a bluey tone or a brown tone. I'm actually going to use both and see if we can get a really nice colour. I'm a bit early today, so I've changed my time today, so I know a lot of you who would have joined me probably haven't joined me. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go and put some of that design down. Now can you see how we're already adding layers? And that's what these stamps have been designed to do, is add layers for you. Now just go randomly, don't overthink it. Yeah, and this is what's going to create that beautiful background that we can see in that other card that I made using slightly different colours. So again, now the way I find it easy to clean my stamps, and a lot of people do ask me, is if you take a baby wipe or even a wet cloth, whatever you've got, and then use something like a tea towel or a soft cloth, I find that is the easiest way to clean your stamps for me. So I'm just going to add brown to this one as well. Let me get a brown oxide. So I've used the peacock feathers to start with. Now I'm going to use the brown oxide. So we've got this really lovely brown as well. So again, look at that already. I mean, if I could share the detail already on this, there is just so much just by using a couple of stamps, a couple of colours, we've already got this really lovely, I don't know if you can see that. Can you see all the detail already in that? Good afternoon, Jill. I hope you're feeling better. Oh, so you should come to Kelowna. You'd love it here. So it's not that far from Banff. So we've done that one. So the other one I want to add, as we all love, is Pip's favourite, is the Crackle. Now the Crackle really does make a difference because it gives you that little bit more of a background effect. And again, it's all about layering this up. So just again, randomly, don't overdo it, but just keep going with it. And you will see, you will get this beautiful background just using these few different stamps which have been created to create these backgrounds for you to make your life simple to create. So now I'll just quickly show you. Now you can see again another layer, I don't know if you can see that up there, another layer of stamping. Okay, so the next thing I want to do is that I want to add a little bit of the brown to the edges so that I can sort of start to colour this in a little bit more. So all I'm doing is getting myself a brush, getting some water, because we don't want it too thick. Just going to add a little bit of that, and that will help as well. And what it also will do is move some of the other paint we've got down. So you need it a little bit runnier than that probably. And all I'm doing is taking that to the egg because it will help frame it. Add a little bit more water to that. Okay, so all you're doing is just taking your brush. Don't worry if you go over the top. And what it does is it gives you this really lovely finish. Okay. Obviously at home, take your time. And I'm not too worried. Now you could use your Distress Oxide just to do the edges, but I do like these textures. And I like the fact that some of it's going to be thicker, some of it's going to be thinner, and that you've got this really nice texture in the background. Now if you wanted to, you could take slightly bit of water and run some of these colours in as well. But I'm quite liking it the way it is. Okay, so that's good. So we've got all the edges there. We've got everything covered there. So the next thing we want to do, and this is just normal cardstock I've started with. So the next thing I did was I talked about the 3 different circle layers. I'm doing it slightly different to this one I did today, but I'm just doing it with the 3 different layers still. So, but I'm going to put it slightly different. And as I showed you from the big pad, I've just cut out, if anybody didn't see it, I've just cut out one of the circles. So these are the big A3 pads that you can see here. So loads on those. Okay, so what have I done? I've got my first circle, I've got my second circle, and I've got my third circle. Okay, so that's from one of the stamps that we had earlier, which is called Moments actually. It's a beautiful stamp. It's got the girl on it and everything. Please take a look on the website. I know Pip has these and I have these as well. So what I've got is I've just got a bit of board there with and all I've done is use the mint to paint it, just to start me off. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add a little bit, see if I've got anything on my brayer left. I've just added a little bit of water, and all I'm doing is just picking up anything I've got left, because I still want a little bit of texture, even though a lot of this is going to be covered. But can you see how I've already added texture to that? Now, if you wanted a little bit more texture, you could add that, but I want to keep it sort of in the background. Yep. You could leave bits of it white, you could add more white to it. So I'm going to sort of position it up here. So it just gives you an idea roughly, and obviously you could have a bigger sheet, you could have a smaller sheet. Oh, Jill, your surgery's tomorrow. Oh, good luck, sweetheart. I hope that goes really, really well for you. So this is my next layer, so which I'm going to put here. Okay, so again, I need to get some paint on this. Now again, you could do all these when you first started, so you don't have to wait each time to do them. Okay, so I'm just taking that And again, just picking up a bit of paint, and I'm just adding that with my brayer. If you don't have a brayer, then just use some cling film, or use something else, or even a rolling pin. You know, it will work. You can take anything really these days and make a background. So all I'm doing is just lifting this just a little bit. I don't want it too wet, I don't want too much of it, and I'm just doing that. So you can see how I'm building those layers up. I'm going to add a little bit of the white coffee to this, because I think that's it. Will add a little bit more lightness to it. Okay, now it's really important that you build up your layers, take your time, and you can get some really nice layers here. And again, if you wanted to add a little bit of the lighter colour, you could add a little bit more of the lighter colour into this. But you're not going to see most of this, so it doesn't really matter. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to position that one now on there. And this is just leftovers that I've die cut, look. So you don't always need all your amazing cardstock. Again, I want to bring in some of those elements I've used on the background. So what I'm going to do is, where's it gone? I'm going to add a little bit more crackle to this. I'll probably add some spirals to it. A little bit of time. Okay, so that can go now as my next layer. Okay, so now, as I told you earlier, I cut out a circle as well, but I also cut out the little bottle. Now you can use these toppers either way, but I've chosen to use it this way. Okay, so that's one element, that's one circle. So you've got 3 circles. Plus, on this one, I'm actually going with one extra circle to that what I did before. And I'm going to put this as my focal bit. But obviously, I don't want it this bright cream, so I need to do something with that. So that's my next job. So let me do that. So again, I'm going to use a little bit of the colours, add them to my sheet. And you could do this before you stamped it. So it's really up to you. But I quite like to see what it's going to look like, where it's going to go. And I'm just going to add a little bit. I'm not adding too much. And I don't want this to be too dark because I don't want it to take away too much. So I'm going to spray a little bit of water on that just to give it a little bit of movement. Okay, so I'm just going to lift that up again. And I'm just going to, make sure I take it to my mat. And you'll see how easy it is then just to give it a more stressed out, more vintagey look. And I quite like it this way round. Now you could do it either way. You could do your background and then do this. Okay. Let's see if I can pick any brown up. I don't want too much. That's the only thing. Let's see. Spray a little bit of water into the brown. Because sometimes when you activate some of the paints, they will lift again. But what you don't want is you don't want too much. Okay. So now can you see how that has now changed? And again, what we can do is we can add a little bit of the stamps like we've done before and just bring that so that it's more in line with the background as well. So just go with it. Okay. I like this. I love the spiral one as well. So I'm going to take a little bit of the spiral one and bring that in as well. Now you could add a bit more of the blue in there. I'm just doing it with my hands, so I don't need to. Okay. So now if I bring that back in again, you will see that it all starts to match up. It all starts to become one piece, whereas they were all different pieces before. So that's where we've got to with this one. Right, so the next thing we need to do is try and blend this one in as well. So that's my next piece. That's where I want to position that. You could have done it differently. You could have started with it up here and done it all the other way around. So this is the stamp from Moments, and I love this stamp because you can use either the one element of it, all elements of it, or just parts of it. So just by masking it off. So I want to put this one here. So what I need to do is I need to bring a little bit of blue into this. So all I'm going to do is use that lovely mint and just put a little bit down onto my mat. Add a little bit of water. I always add a little bit of water, so because it helps you move your paint a lot easier. And I always edge everything because I think it's important to bring those colours back in to your artwork. So just keep going with that. So there we go. And then that will now sit in here. About, I think for me, about there. So it's all about circles for me today, I think. So I'm going to do the same with the little art bottle. So this is what I've cut out, and you'll see why I cut it out. Now, one of the other stamps which really matches this pad is the one where the girl is. So it's this one, which has got Inspire Notes, it's called. So if you have a look at this stamp, basically I'm going to use her, I'm going to use this bit, I'm going to use all of it really. So what I've done is I've already cut the girl out because I wanted to not take ages over this. So, but I'm going to show you how I've done it all. So I've cut her out, but I've used the colours I've used in the background to colour her. So just by adding a little bit of water, taking your brush and just adding a few colours to her. Okay, so I've not done anything special here. I've just coloured her in. Same way, believe it or not, I coloured this one in from my art ink stamp, which actually looks like is actually, oops, sorry, it looks like I've actually just cut it out of a piece of paper, but that is actually the stamp. These are all stamps that I've used to create that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to sit her just there. Okay, so you're getting the picture now. And then I'm going to use this bit at the top. Obviously, I'm not going to stick anything down yet. And I'm going to use that bit at the top there. So that's how we're looking so far. Okay, then always look at your stamp. So that's just been stamped. Look at your stamps because the thing is that if you don't, then you may be just using them as they are. Now just look at this one. I'm going to put that all the way behind there. So I'm going to move everything down, and I'm actually going to put the wings there. Now you could cut the wings so make it bigger. You could actually put the wings differently. Now I'll show you how I've cut that. And then I could actually use the bodice again if I wanted to behind. I could also put this behind here and get another shadow so it looks even more 3D. So it's up to you, but I'm just going to show you what I'm going to be doing so that you can get a little bit of an idea. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is show you how I coloured this in. I just take a brush, I take a little bit of water to the paint colours I've already used in the background. I've got a bit of green on that, doesn't matter. And then I just come in. But can you see how quick that is? So I'm just going to colour those in. And it's as simple as that. And you just go over your design, colour them in, and it just looks amazing. I don't need to colour it all because I've already, but what I could do is I could cheat. And I'm just doing a quick colour. Obviously you could you could use your pencil crayons, you could use your watercolours, you could do whatever you wanted to. But I've just done a very, very quick wash there. Okay, I'm just going to cut a little bit of this out. So can you see how that's starting to come together now? Obviously each time you use a different colour, really easy to cut out. So I've even cut these bits out. God, Pip would be really proud of me. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually, because I'm not going to use it all, so I can either keep this colour tone or I can keep this colour tone. I'm quite happy with both, but I want to put these wings first behind here. Now you might want to put them the same size. Now if you didn't, then you could either cut them out, so you could actually cut these out, or I'm just going to cheat and I'm just going to cut it right down the middle. Yeah? And even then you could actually still use the girl if you wanted to, but I'm not going to. So I'm going to put one there. So I'm going to cut into that. Okay, so because then I can lift the wing. And I'm going to put that just there. So can you see? And then I'm going to cut this side as well. And I'm going to put that just there. Now you could, if you wanted to put them at a 10 angle, It really is up to you. But can you imagine having a couple of wings there and a little bits there? So I'm going to carry on with this. So you can see how easy it is just to build this up. And obviously you could add other bits. Now the other one I've taken from Inspire Notes is this beautiful globe, which I've also cut out. I know you're going to think I've cut out everything, but I will show you some stamping in a second. So you can see how that's all coming together now. And again, I'm going to do a very, very quick wash on it. So we don't have to worry too much, but obviously at home, please take your time and add the colours, add all the different depths into it. But I really like the way this does it. Now, you could cheat, well, I call it cheating, is you could actually just brayer everything first, and then you could add in, what I'm doing is just taking a dry brush, it's quicker as well, just to add a bit more into that. Yeah, and what I'm going to do is I could have put that there. Yeah, that's a different, but I didn't want to. I wanted to put another circle down here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a circle there. So now what you've got is these three beautiful, beautiful circles. So can you see? So very different to the other one in one respect. So obviously if I'd done it more similar to that one, what would happen is this would become your focal point. So it's really up to you how you want to do that. And then I would add more stamps down here. So again, it really is up to you. Or we could put that in as our focal point there, and we could have this down here. So again, it's just, I wanted to show you something different rather than showing you exactly the same. So this is why I've done it a little bit different. Okay, so that would come here. Okay, so and then we've got that. And I'm going to obviously raise them all and all of that. Now, just to show you how easy it is to stamp with these stamps, I'm just going to take a VersaFine, a little bit of scrap of paper I've got here, and I am going to just stamp these bottles. And they are absolutely beautiful. Now you can keep them together, you can stamp them individually, or you can cut them. So it's up to you. And all I'm going to do is just show you how beautiful all of these stamps stamp. And just look at that, so that you can see they are absolutely beautiful. And on this one, we've got a little art stamp as well. And you don't even need, if you haven't got a stamping platform, don't worry about it if you haven't got that. Because all you need is just eyeball it, because it is perfectly fitted. So say if we want to now, we could put a blue into there, the blue we've used in the background, and then just very quickly, I'm just going to show you if you can see, if you can, is just put art in there. Oops. And there you go, perfect. So it's as simple as that, so it's not difficult to do. Now the other one I want to stamp is the beautiful key and butterfly. All of the stamps are absolutely beautiful. I really, if you can, I recommend all of them, but I would say that, wouldn't I? So all you need to do is just cut these. Now, I don't want to spend all my time cutting them. I'll just do a quick cut on these for us. Let me just go with that. And I'm going to also stamp this key while I'm at it. Okay. There we go. I love this one. This is probably one of my, it sounds really bizarre, but it's even, the simplicity of it is just so beautiful, and it comes out so lovely. And I just love the way this all works. So again, you could keep it square, or you could do what I do, which is I cut into it usually. So I'm just going to cut that very quickly. I'm going to go along the numbers. Obviously, make sure these are dry. Make sure you've not put all your mucky paws over them. And then it's quite boring watching me cutting, but it's always good to see that you can just snip away at these very, very easily. Now, if you've got Brother Scan and Cut, which I do have, by the way, you can cut these on your Brother Scan and Cut. And I know Pip has one, but I still haven't learnt how to use mine because I haven't had any time. So I'm just making it a little bit neater than it is. It doesn't matter. So you get this really beautiful butterfly with the numbers. And then I always cut into that cutting out not a straight line, but a little wonky line, and then you can lift the little butterfly's little wings up. Okay, so now again, what you need to do is, if you're going to introduce that to this, you need to make sure you've coloured it as well. I've got a bit of blue paint on my brush still. Oops. And what I should have done is let it dry, but that's okay. I'll just put some more blue paint down and just blodge it on now that I've sort of messed it up a little bit, but it's okay. It's all working. That's okay. So you can see how easy it is, because all we're trying to do is add colours that are all going to blend in. Yeah? I'm going to take a little bit of the brown and just do the edges. I didn't really want any gaps. Now I could add some more of those bottles if I wanted to. You could cut that little bit off if you wanted to. I just wanted to leave it there to show you. The stamps stamp it beautifully, and they are so lovely to work with. I'm just taking a little bit of this just to stress it all out. It's really a nice way to do it as well, as you can see, splitting the papers. You could take your paintbrush and do it, but I just thought it would be quicker just to do this. And then the wings. It really does come together. You know, you've used a stencil, you've used some stamps, used a bit of paper. But, you know, this could be a journal page, this could be a journal cover. So I might cut one of the bottles out in a minute. Okay, so then you start to layer that up, and I'll show you how that all comes together in a minute. And you can just see that with just using a few bits, we've managed to create. Let me do this. I'm going to cut one of these bottles and just show you how to colour those in, because I must admit, obviously I had more time for my other one, which I did earlier. Just go around them, and the thing is with mixed media, that's the beauty. Whoops, keep my bottles for later. And you can add crackle glaze to this. You can add, you know, you could add the heavy body gel to make it glossy, or the gel paste. So you've got this really lovely, see how easy it is to cut these. You've already got this beautiful bottle. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take a little bit of water and just a brush, and again I'm just going to go in, not too much, I don't want to put a lot of anything, and I'm just going to come in and I'm just going to give it a bit of a wash, not too much, just a little bit. And if you wanted to, obviously take a little bit more blue. You could add more brown to this project. Obviously the colours you do it in, you could do this with any of the fancy floral ones we've got out. You could do it with any of them. Okay, so can you see how this already is coming to life? Yeah, you don't need a lot. And again, we've got this really lovely bottle now, which we can add in if we want to. Let me just put that there. And just by adding a few bits of colour, you can then change things so easily and make them so different. So can you see where we are going with this? So if you wanted to, you could even sit the two bottles together, because they've been designed, the stamps have been designed to work with everything. So you could even put this bottle in instead, but I think that's a bit too big, so you could go with the medium-sized bottle. So what we'll do is, so what I want to do is I want to start to put this together so you can at least see what that's going to look like. Now you could add more detail to this, you could add, you know, add other bits to it, but it's just a totally different colour. That's all it is. It's the colours are different. If you feel this is too I was going to say is too green or not the right colour for you, just go in and just mute that down a little bit, so that if you've, you know, slightly think that it should be slightly different, don't worry about that. Okay, so now let's put this together, because I think that's when it all starts to work for everybody. So I've used a lot of the stamps, I've used the papers, I've used lots of elements. Right, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start off with the bigger circle. It's going to put, look, you see, I've got everything that I've used. put that on the back, just one little bit. I don't need a lot. And I'm just going to put roughly, just make sure you've got it however you want it. You can have it offset, you can have it, but just make sure your other circle is going to fit. So I'm going to sort of, I'm not going to center it, I'm going to offset it. I know that's going to bother a few people. And then the next thing I want to do is just layer these up with a little bit of tape. And again, just a little bit of tape here. And this is so lovely. I mean, this is just one little circle out of the whole book. And using those stamps, I really love the stamps. They are absolutely gorgeous. So I want to have that a little bit higher. So what I want to do is I want to put one bit here and then one bit over here, so that I've got that raised. And you know, one little topper, I mean, I can't tell you how many you've got in there. I know you've got 70 elements at least. So we're going to put that one there. I might put a little bit down here as well, just to keep it raised. And don't be afraid to cut into your books. I know it's hard. I know Pip finds it really hard. So we're going to put this one here. Again, a little bit of raising. So you can see how this starts to come together very, very easily. And it's just so nice to work with. I'm sorry, I'm an hour early today, so it's probably a lot of you probably missed out. But we will be putting it onto YouTube, so you will see it. Okay, so we're just going to go through with this. And it's amazing, if you get your colours right to the papers, you can actually nearly lose the stamped images within. Okay, so we're going to put this one here. There we go. I'm going to put that onto this layer. There we go. Just make sure that they're both in the same place. And again, just take your time at home. Obviously, I'm just always, I do it a little bit faster. So that can go in there. So it looks like it's already on its wings. So again, this way. I have to think about that then. They're so lovely to work with. I can't tell you how nice they are to work with. So again, roughly about the same. Slightly off. It's not going to be, wings are never actually the same. Okay, so it just gives it, I mean, if you wanted to do it slightly different, you could do it slightly different. But I really liked the idea that we were going to have those there. Okay, so we're going to take another bit here. I'm sorry about my nails, they look like I've had a fight today. So that bit can go, oops, that's my phone really loud for some reason. Okay, so you've got this bit. I don't know if I like them, they look like little ears, don't they? I think they need to be closer. Right, I've pulled it out now. Let me pull those out. I didn't like those there. So you can, if you're careful, not like Dally, who will just pull them out. Oops, she's left the tape behind, that's okay. Is I didn't really like them there. So I'm actually going to put them here. And I prefer them there. So it's still attached, that won't be because I haven't got any bit left on the back. So just, so don't do what I do and rush. Just do it, take your time and do it that way. There you go. That's much better. Because I just didn't like the way it was looking. It looked like they were too far apart. So let's put that one there. Okay, that's much better for me. Okay, now they don't look so much like little ears. Okay, so we've got all of those stuck down. So we want this third circle to go in here. So let's put that one in. Okay, so it's just building up all your layers really. I mean, you could put more layers onto this. You could put less layers onto this. So you can see, I'm even tempted to put that up there. So you see, if I'd moved it all down a bit, then you could do that, or you could do that. So you can see how that's all coming together. So you've got one up here, you've got one down there. I actually like this in here, so I think I'm going to put mine there. I wasn't going to put it there, by the way. I was actually going to put it over here, or over here. Where should I put it? Or here. I'm not sure now. I like it up here, you see. I'm going to put it up there. It wasn't what I was going to do, but now I am. But I've got lots of others, so I've still got the other two, that if I wanted to, I could come in and do that. Now, bearing in mind, if you want to now move all this down, you're going to have a little bit of difficulty. But what we're going to do is we're going to curve this in, and we can always lift that up. There you go. It's all working. And then we've got this really beautiful one at the bottom. So can you see how easy it is to put something together with a set? You know, people always say, how do you start with your mixed media cards or your papers? This is a really lovely, really therapeutic way to get started with what you've got. Yeah, and we've still got these little bottles, so if we wanted to, we could easily take them and put them over here. Let me see. Let me see if I can put this one just here. See? I just feel there's a little bit of an empty space there, that's all. Oh, this one's gone a bit haywire. Stick. Now you can play more. You could put the word art there. Actually, why don't I do that? Because I think that would look really nice. You can also stamp onto the background, by the way, so you don't have to always put it onto a piece of card. So I'm going to put a little bit of word art there because I just feel there's a gap and it's not working for me. And that's what it is all about. It's just working it out, what works for you, and just having a play. So I'm going to put word art here, and I love this stamp. It's so cute. Look, see? Now you've got a little bit that you're filling in those gaps. Yeah, and that's what it's about. Is just having a play, seeing. And we've got a little stamp. We've got some little stamps that we could have easily have used for that as well. And then all you're going to do is maybe put one. I might put one here. Not too. To be careful, because obviously we've got to now try and fit that in. And don't worry, I don't worry too much. There you go. They're so good, the stamps, that it doesn't matter. So can you see how I've got that all together now? Right, the next thing I want to do, and try not to make too much mess, and we could still add the bottle. You know, the bottle could sit like this, or like that. Do I really need the bottle? I'm just thinking, should I have a smaller bottle here? That way, I don't have to worry. There we are, see? There's always an answer. Okay, so I'm going to colour that bottle in slightly because it's obviously too. Let's take that brush away. Put these papers over here. And let me colour this a little bit. Just a bit of water, a bit of paint. And I think never be afraid of your paints, you know. So, again, add a little bit of that. Hopefully you're all enjoying it. Thank you. It's nice. It's nice that that you come to watch and you enjoy it and you take something away, even if it's a little thing. Hopefully it's really nice. So anybody who's wondering what I'm trying to make, I am making this. And this morning I made this and basically did the background using all the new stamps, used the Crackle Art Ink papers, and these are all stamps that you see here, and I've just coloured them in using the same colours as the background. Then I've gone with a more bluer tone here, and just to make a little bit of a difference. So I think, you know, when you start to see it all come together, and play with your stamps, play with your papers, And you will find, you could put a little message in there if you wanted to. There you go, that's much better. And in fact, I'm going to pull those wings in slightly. Just a bit more centered. Just be more careful than I am, that's all. That's all I say. Because I am very naughty. And most of you are probably a lot more careful. Right, let's see where we're going to put this. We don't need to always add things if we believe that they're not needed. Now I'm still tempted to put that on there, you know. And in fact, I prefer it on there. Because, oops. Because I think it just looks nicer. Even though it's bigger, I still like the look of it. And then this one, I'm going to tuck into there. I'm happier now. I think it's just, you know, when you feel right with it. Even up here, actually here's better. And just don't stick it down like I do before you've actually done it. Because I'm good at that. And then I wonder, oh no, I shouldn't have put it there, I shouldn't have done this. Okay, now let's get some, need a bit of splash of colour on this. Just put my brush away. And I might go with a brown, and I know that's quite dark, but I think, like on this one I went with white, but this was a darker colour. So why don't we go with a slightly, move everything out of the way, because I have a tendency to cover absolutely every, and I mean everything. Okay, right, let me see if I can do this. So what I want to do is I'm going to bring this really clean mat in, and I'm going to do some splashes. Pick these bits up and put them in my bin. Don't worry, those mats clean up really well. So what I want to now do is, you could do some turquoise splashes or brown splashes or a bit of both. So now what I want to do is do some splashes, because that will bring it all together. Don't know what it is with mixed media, but the minute you do splashes, it all seems to come together. Have never worked out why yet. So just put a little bit on your mat of the brown, which is what I'm going with, which is very dangerous really. And then add some water to that, because you want some splatters. Okay, and then just go with it. Tap your brush. If you're not getting anything, add more water to your, not too much, because what you don't want is puddles, and you don't want not the colour to come through. And you'll see it come together. Just when the minute I hit the splashes on it, it will come together. And I don't know what it is about the splashes, but it always brings work together. Can you see how that's already made all that pop? I'm going to add a little bit of blue because I think it would be nice. Obviously, when I take away from this wonderful clean mat, you will see the results. So bear with me 1 second, and I will show you. Thank you for watching me. I know it's different timing and everything. Pip's hitting angry faces by the looks of it. There we go, easily done. Right, so I'm going to add a little bit of the blue as well, because I think that would also add to it. And you'll see the minute you add colour, so again we need to add a little bit more paint, a little bit more water. Love using these, they're just so nice, the acrylics. There you go. Now can you see, now maybe not go so heavy-handed as Dali does, so maybe you can see some of your artwork left, but I love it. So let's put that onto some black card and white card and give you a little bit of an idea of what this actually looks like. At the moment, it looks like I've had a fight with somebody. Let's see if I can find some card stuff to put it onto. I need a bigger piece. This black will do it. So very easily you can see what a difference that's going to be. Let me move that out of the way. I need a slightly bigger piece of black card. Let me grab a bit of a bigger piece of black card. 1 second, just to show you what it can or cannot look like. Grab a small card, I don't know why, but I have. Okay, so what you can do is you can just have a look how. Let me put that into the middle. It's a lot easier. So can you see now how lovely that looks? Hopefully you can get an idea, and obviously you would matte and layer that. You would make it totally different. That's funny. So you can just see, obviously you can add 3D pens, put some buttons on it, add some waxes. So 2 cards made in exactly the same way, or I have to find the other one now. Very similar way, but can you see by changing the colours and some of the artwork and some of the stamps, we've come up with 2 very different cards. So hopefully you've enjoyed what I've done today. Thank you, and I can then I'll put it onto YouTube, so if anybody who's missed it, please share it. Please do subscribe to the ShokART Sisters channel. I think this one could even be entered for the lime competition maybe. But that gives you an idea of where you can be going, so I'll matte and layer that and post that as well. But you can see the detail, there's just so much detail in there. And by using the stamps and the papers, you can really create some beautiful pieces. So I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next Thursday. I think we're going to move to the 3 o'clock slot. Thank you, Gloria. Thank you, everybody, for all your positive feedback. Thanks, Pip. And then we can I've got meetings always on a Thursday, and so does Paul, so that way we're not rushed. So you can see how different they are, but how you can bring your stamps to life. And it's quite hard to sometimes imagine what is a stamp and what is a paper if you cut them out and you add them to your projects. So thank you very much for watching. Enjoy the new collections from us. Please take a look. We've got some beautiful collections, some very steampunk, some very floral, some very bright, so something for everybody. And the rice papers are absolutely gorgeous to work with, as I showed you earlier. I will be doing this book on crafting with all brands on the 31st. I think you guys will probably in Canada will miss it, but I know that it's always there, so you can probably view it. But just to show you, this is some of the other pieces. So depending on how you're using the rice papers, you can create these books, and I love it because I can easily put the stamps inside my little books. So thank you very much, and I will see you all next week. Take care, bye for now.